Hello, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. Thank you replay viewers for watching, and thanks YouTube viewers for watching as well. I'm on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, where we relax and craft and we work on a project together. And today we are continuing on the Jacquelynne Steve's I Love Home Block of the Month quilt along. We just received yesterday the border and sashing and finishing instructions. Here is the quilt right here. There are 4 blocks. And I am not quite that far yet. We worked on the last block last night. This is block 4, and we got the little borders on. I got a bunch of the pieces made, and I just really love how they turned out. And we have a few more pieces to make tonight, and we're gonna assemble it. So I'm hoping to get block 4, the last block, completed tonight. And then tomorrow we'll get started on the sashing and the borders and the last part of this quilt. So I am super stoked. There is a giveaway, again, just for this week. And it is a $25 gift certificate for Therm-o-Web. So to enter that, just like the Penguin and Fish page, either on Facebook or YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, and you can comment either on Facebook or YouTube. You can actually comment on both for a second entry. The hashtag I Love Home Quilt, and that will be your entry. And I will choose a winner on Sunday. So you'll have through the end of the day on Saturday to enter, and you can enter on any video from this week, either here or on YouTube. So that is the deal there, and I want to remind you guys again that our next project is going to be the Tweet House embroidery pattern that we're going to color in. We're going to color tint the fabric before we do the embroidery. And if you want to get the physical version of the pattern, so here is the physical version. It has the iron-on pattern, a traceable pattern. If you want that, I would order it this week just to make sure you have it on time. And if you order the PDF version of it or the paper iron-on version, you will also get the holiday extra bonus version. And this is the one that I will be working on. So that is that, and it's starting the 18th. I do have links for that in, I have links for everything in the Facebook post here. So, all right, sounds good, dudes. Let's get going on finishing up this block number 4. Thank you for coming in here today. Whew, Marianne, it sure was. So remember how I said it was almost 60 degrees yesterday? Well, with wind chill today, it was -2. So that is a lot of degrees difference. And it snowed last night, and it was snowy and icy, and a nightmare. All right, so yesterday we got our border blocks done. They you know, are the corners, the corner blocks, I should say. And here we have these little center doohickeys. They point to the center like that, so we have our little pink one to the center. If you've made these blocks, it's probably, your greens will probably, or you know, whatever color you're using, it'll blend in together, so it should look like just this triangle here. But I use different greens, so I have a little different effect there. Yeah, I know, I mean, that's like a 60-degree difference. It's kind of wackadoodle. But that is Minnesota for you, for sure. No surprise there. All right, so today we are going to make our half rectangle triangles. And to do that, so we have to do 4 pairings. So I'm gonna just flip these ones. These are gonna be my back ones. Oh, Pax, thanks for joining. Yes, it's been a little while. So, all right, we are going to start by flipping all the dark colors. So I have the dark colors, I'm calling them my darks, and then I have these pinky colors. So actually, I'm gonna flip those upright. Those will be on one side, and then we'll put these ones down like this because we're going to draw on here. So let's start out by drawing our diagonal. So what we have to remember is that 2 of the diagonals have to go one way and 2 of the diagonals have to go the other way. So that's what we have to remember here. Otherwise, when we open our rectangle, they'll all be angled the same direction and we need them to mirror image. So definitely if you want a little tutorial on this, Jacquelynne on Jacquelynne Steves, on the Jacquelynne Steves website, she has instructions for this, but we're going to go through them right here again. But just remember, some are going to be angled this way, the others are going to be angled that way, and we'll show you again. So, all right, drawn a diagonal. So that's going this way. All right, I'm going to do the second one like that. I had to read through the tutorial before coming on tonight because the last time we did this was block 3, but man, block 3 seems like ages ago, doesn't it? Oh, and the trimming, yes. So we will, Gretchen, we'll go over the trimming of these as well. I do have my freezer paper. There's a little freezer paper way of doing this. So we'll do that again. So all right, so see, these ones are angled this way, that pair. These ones have to be angled the other direction. There, so see, angle one way, angle the other way. And since we're doing 4 pairs, you know, 2 of each pair. So that's this one. Now I need the last one going that opposite direction. All right, there we go. Yep, that will do it, Gretchen, the freezer paper. I had to read up on that again too. Okay. So we got our pencil lines, 2 going up to the right and 2 going up to the left. So now these get paired with the dark ones. So these 2 will get paired. Also, I'm going to set those to the side for a second. I'm just going to take one pink and one dark. And remember, your instinct is going to want to match them up like this, right? So that they're together, like how you do a half square triangle. But that isn't actually correct. We're going to rotate it once so that the other diagonal is connected. See what I did there? So instead of this diagonal with this diagonal, we're going to rotate and do the diagonal in those 2 directions. So see, I just rotated it 1 point. And that is what we're going to sew together. So now we're going to sew on either side. It looks crazy, but watch, when we open it up, there's our perfect rectangle, right? If we would have done it this way, like we're matching it together, watch what happens. It ends up looking like a kite shape, right? And that's not what we want. We want that rectangle shape. So we're going to match the rectangles together and then rotate the top one like that. Just one point off. So there we go. So we got that offset. I'm going to do that for the other ones as well, so then we can sew them all at once. So right sides together and then rotate once. And then here are the other pairing. We're going to do those right away as well. All right, so together, and this time we're going to rotate the opposite direction. All right, that looks good. And same here. I think we could actually rotate that direction. Yeah, that would be the same difference. So rotate either way. Okay, we are set. So I have all my groupings here. My corners are matched up. Now I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'm going to sew all of them on one side, and then I'm going to flip them all around and rotate them, and then sew on the other side. All right, let's get sewing. Yeah, and if you guys are just coming in, there is a giveaway, and that's why everyone's putting in hashtag I love home quilt. That is your entry, along with liking the page here. That is the entry for the $25 gift certificate for Therm-o-Web. All right. Oh, actually, we're sewing this side first, it looks like. All right, we should be all set up from yesterday. I put a new needle on yesterday. My petals flipped around. There we go. So I'm doing the 1/4 inch. Actually, it's a scant 1/4 inch, which just means a hair shy of a full 1/4 inch. That allows for the thickness of the fabric when we fold it open. So these look crazy, but it's kind of like magic, which is what I love about these half rectangle triangles. They look like, how could this weird angle end up being crazy? Oh, Gretchen, go ahead and pin. There is nothing wrong with pinning at all. Nothing at all. If you feel more comfortable with that, that's fine. For me, when I pin, I feel like I'm moving the fabric around too much, and I feel like my pins are making my lines move. But when I really, really need to pin, I don't hesitate to do that for sure. Ooh, Gretchen, those sound nice. Yeah, that's something on my brain actually lately. I need to research pins, like figuring out what the best pins are. And I mean, before I get sewing, I am kind of rematching things up because I am shuffling them around a bit. And also when I'm I'm kind of holding the other end, and I'm holding it flat against my extension table here. So when I didn't have the extension table, I needed to pin a lot more, just because I had this like kind of arch that I had to go up on my sewing machine. The other thing that's really helping me sew straighter is that I have my business card down here taped on, and that makes this little bump up, so this little ridge. So under my fingernail here, I can feel the ridge of my business card, and I'm matching that ridge with my pencil line, and that's helping me guide this line through until I can actually visually see it. Oh, Gretchen, that'd be awesome. I'd love to check them out. All right, and then I'm just kitty scratching the fabric until my points match up. Kitty scratching so you can just move the fabric a little bit at a time. Yeah, ready. Almost done with the first side of these 4. All right, and I'm gonna just take them off. Some people like cutting the whole chain and then flipping the whole chain around, but I'm gonna just snip off one piece, one section at a time. What I mean by chain is all of the bits sewn together in one long row, basically. All right, so we did this side. We're gonna rotate it and do the other side now. Oh, your Black Friday order came. Awesome, Carla. Oh, yay, I'm glad you like your garland. Yeah, all my Black Friday orders got a little surprise gift with them. All right, this is the second side here. I'm so happy you like it. All right, this guy is done. Let's snip the next one of the chain off. Oh, your space is getting cluttered. Air black too. Oh man, Gretchen, that's what my space is starting to look like too. Every time I get deep into one of these blocks, it gets messier and messier. So before I start the borders and the sashing, the finishing instructions part, I'm definitely gonna have to do a little cleanup around here and get organized again. Luckily my space is pretty small. I'm just here on the dining room table in a very little itty bitty space, like a 4 foot by 4 foot space kind of. And it doesn't take that long to clean. Or it forces me to organize it because it's such a small space. I think we have one more after this one. Sewing a little slower just so I can get my straight lines as straight as I can, and also because my camera shakes a ton if I go too quickly here. All right, last one. All right, and then we'll get to cut these guys open. I still think it would be fun to make a whole quilt out of these half square, half rectangle triangles. I think they're kind of fun. And just the weirdness of them makes them, like I said, a little magical. So, all right, there we got our 4 pairings. I'm going to snip them all apart so we have a little stack. Oh man, yeah, Pax, I'm glad you're back. We will, we'll have to try and get you motivated. So yeah, we're still working on the I Love Home quilt, but these are fun. I would, like I was saying, I would love to do a whole quilt out of these half rectangle triangles because they're just, you know, goofy. Like, how is this gonna turn out to be anything, right? But let's do it. Let's cut down that diagonal line now. Oh, awesome, Pax. I hope everything's okay that you weren't able to do stuff for a while. All right, I'm going to go down that diagonal. And, oop. Oh, wow. I think my blade's finally getting a little dull. But there we go. Now we'll open it up, and there is 2 little guys. There, so these ones all, I should have 4 where these ones are like the triangle is on the bottom left, the pink, and then I should have 2 that are the opposite direction where it's going this way, or 4 ultimately when we're done. So all right, here's our first. Make sure you don't accidentally get, you know, that bottom flipped when you cut, because you know that'd be bad. Make sure you're flat there. And we will trim. I think my True Grip stickers are maybe getting a little dull on this. My rulers are moving around a little bit more. All right, 2 more. So those are the 4 going in the one direction, and then these will be going in the other direction. And we're pressing all of these open. That's step 1 to the half rectangle triangles. We still have to, see here is now the pink part's down here. We still have to trim them, and the trimming has a little trick to them as well. Okay, that's that. There, so we should have 4 where it's going down that way, the pink, and then the other ones like this way. So that's why we had to rotate the 2 pairs in different directions, because with this pink down here, you know, this one's going this way and this one's going that way. All right, next up, let's press all these fellers open. Actually, I think I'm gonna lift you guys up here too onto, I have a little block to get you guys a hair a bit taller here. There we go. All right, now over to the kitties. All right, so I always kind of press to one side just to get it started. There we go, like that. Getting that seam. And then I flip it around, and the instructions say to press open. So it's already pressed to one side. Then I'm gonna, oop, you guys can't really see. I'm just opening up the seam there. And pressing it open. I'll show you guys what it looks like. There, so the seam is open. It's not to one side. And I'm gonna just give it one final press on the front. All right, there we go. Our first half rectangle triangle with open seams. So we gotta do that 7 more times. So we'll be here a little bit doing that. Same thing, pressing it to one side, then opening it. Oh man, so I thought it was raining. Remember, I think I might have mentioned that it was raining last night when we were on here. I think that was actually when it started to snow, because when I was done with my Facebook Live last night, it was full-on white snow, big fluffy flakes everywhere. And then this morning we had a couple inches, but it was just ice. It was just a full-on crazy ice world. I could barely even go outside for it. So I'm hoping the hubs laid some salt on the ground, so I'm hoping that works a little bit. Oh, thanks, Gretchen, for posting that. I'll check that out for sure. Oh, wish you would get snow? Well, if it wasn't for the ice and the cold, snow would be amazing. So it was funny. In the mornings, I watch the local news to see, you know, what the weather is and stuff. And they showed the traffic map, and it's like a Google map where it shows where there's any traffic jams or like accidents. Accidents are little exclamation marks, red exclamation marks. The whole entire map was exclamation marks, red exclamation marks, and we're like, oh my God, I'm glad we don't have to go anywhere today. It was just pretty scary. Oh, Sue, I'm glad the towel helps. Yeah, with this towel here, it's protecting from burning my fabric, because my ironing board here has metal underneath it, and that metal gets too hot and it kind of burns a pattern into my fabric, so it's horrible. So that's why I put the towel here. But a towel is great too, because it gives it a little bit of a cushion. I think it just makes all the pressing work a bit better. And especially if you're pressing embroidery, you'll want even a fluffier towel than this, and then you won't, all your seams won't get squished. All right, we got 4 more to do, so we're halfway done. Oh, you were born in Minneapolis? Yeah, it's just the travel and the cold and the ice, but the snow itself is very pretty, I do have to say. Oh, you were born here today. Oh, happy birthday, Gretchen. That's exciting. I hope you did something fun today. Oh, you're a chilly 61 in San Diego. Pax, it was approaching 61 yesterday here. That's why for it to be, it was actually like 17 degrees, but it was really had a chill wind today. So I mean, you might not even have wind chill there, but when it gets really cold here, there's wind chill, and so there's like a feels like temperature because the wind is so sharp and harsh. So the feels like temperature was -2, but the actual degree outside was 17. So from 60 to 17, but the 17 actually was more like, if you would go outside, it would feel like a -2. So that is the weather change we had in like 8 hours. 8 hours or less. All right, one more, this is it. Then we will get to trimming. Oh, you've only had 2 white Christmases in North Carolina. Those had to be, you know, I used to live in the San Francisco area, just north of San Francisco. And I remember once it was like 40 degrees, right? And people were calling, staying home from work and stuff because of black ice and all this. And you know, we're all, you know, from the Midwest, and we're thinking 40 degrees, that's like super nice out. First of all, there's no ice at 40 degrees, and I don't know, people freaked out that it was that cold. Traffic jams and all that, and we were like, all you people are crazy. Nothing gets canceled here. Oh, the last 2 I didn't press the seams open? Oh, haha, you're right. Got chit-chatting. I thought it went pretty fast, Julie. All right. I'm like, I had 4 more left. That didn't feel like 4 more, that's why. Back over here to chit-chatty. Got just into the swing of things again. And I don't usually press open. You close schools and all the bread and milk leaves the stores when it's like 40 degrees. Yeah, exactly, Gretchen. That's when all us Midwesterners roll our eyes slowly. For sure. Oh, but man, I don't think I've ever seen that weather map, the traffic map, with that much red and that many red exclamation points all over it. Both I think my husband was watching at the same time, and we were both like, whoa, at the same time. It was pretty crazy. He was supposed to have a meeting that he was gonna have to drive through that for, but it got canceled, so that was good. But not because of the weather. It got canceled because someone was sick. It was so bad. So many people were stranded with 1/2 to 2 inches of snow. Oh, I know. It's just, I mean, it sucks. It is not pleasant. It definitely takes a different style of driving. You have to have a different awareness. It sometimes takes a little while to get into the mode of driving. So I get it. But man, it's still just funny. All right, so now we have our 8, and you can see they're all going. We have our 4 that go this way and our 4 that go that way. So there we go. Next up, we need to trim this, and they need to be trimmed. Let me read the instructions again. Oh, by the way, you guys, if you have not downloaded the instructions from Jacquelynne Steve's site, I do have a link for it here, but they are only going to be available till the end of the month. So December 31st, you need to download them by, and you download them by just signing up, and they get emailed, and then you get an email with all the links, and then you have to go into those links and click them to download them and get them to your computer. Don't just save the email. The links will not work anymore after December 31st. You have to click on them and get them to your computer. So again, December 31st. It's free too. So if you want a free thing, the free quilt pattern, got to get it before then. All right, so we need 3.5 inches by 4.5 inches is what we need to trim these down to. And this is Jacquelynne's little trick for this. Get some freezer paper, and oh, good, I have a little piece left here yet. All right, so we are going to measure. All right, we need to trim them to 3.5 by 4.5, but that includes the seam allowance. We're going to draw this without that seam allowance. So we're actually going to trim them to 3 inches by 4 inches. And I just want to double check something here quick. Make sure that what size these are. 1, 2, 3. Oh, these are 4.5. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So, all right, so we're gonna draw a rectangle on here that's 3 inches by 4 inches, and then we're gonna add on that 1/4 inch all the way around it in a little bit here. So I'm gonna grab just a ruler, a square ruler like this, and my freezer paper. So this is the waxy side. I think mine's actually plasticky, but that side goes down. So the top side is just kind of like a paper side. So I'm going to just plop this on here and draw a right angle. All right, so now I need to make this 4 inches by 3 inches. So line up, zip up here. So here was my first line. So I'm lining it on the 4 inches and the 3 inches. So 4 inches by 3 inches, and I'm squaring it, lining up the line with my ruler lines so they're just perfect. And there we go. Now this is 3 inches by 4 inches. Well, 4 inches by 3 inches, depending on how you look at it. And then I'm also going to put the diagonal on there right away. So this diagonal, we will match up to the diagonal on our pieces. And I'm going to draw a diagonal the other way. I don't think we really need one the other way, but oh, maybe we do, actually, because we have those opposite side ones. So there's our 2 diagonals. We're not including the seam allowance, Gretchen, because when we cut it, I'm going to line my 1/4 inch on to there. And the reason for that is so when we rotary cut it, we're not constantly cutting through the little edges of the paper. By going a 1/4 inch away, you know, I'm putting my ruler on the 1/4 inch. That 1/4 inch I'm lining up with my line here. Then we can cut right there. See, so that would be our cut line. And again, we're doing that so we don't keep accidentally cutting the paper and like dulling our blade and all that. So that is why, as far as I can tell. So, all right, I need my paper scissors. Let's cut this out. So I should be able to use this a bunch of times. I'm hoping I don't need to cut another one, but I think I can probably get another one out of here. I suppose I could have left more space in here, but I'm hoping I only need to do this once. So in theory, the plastic side of it, or the waxy side of this, should stick to our fabric. We're going to press it to our fabric. And then this will be our guide for cutting. That's the only reason we're using this, is our guide for cutting. Okay, so we just froze, but it looks like we're back. I know there's a 7-second delay, so I'll wait for like 7 seconds. Okay, back. Okay, good. You can see me again here. I don't know what happened. We just got cut out, and but it looks like we're back again here. Okay, unfroze. All right, good. So here's what we're doing. We are taking one of our pieces here, and we are going to line up like right in the center. I want to make sure that I have at least a 1/4 inch around all of these sides. So I don't want to go down here, right? Because I don't have a 1/4 inch there. I want to get it right in the center. So I have a 1/4 inch at least all the way around. And I'm going to line up the diagonal of the fabric with one of my diagonals, whichever one it works with, because you know it won't work with the opposite one, right? It'll only work with one. So I'm going to press that to the paper here. or to the fabric. So you should only have to hold it for a second or two. There we go. And now it's stuck onto there. So next we gotta trim. So we gotta do all this one at a time. We gotta, yeah, I think you're right. We'll get the rotating mat out. It's up over here. Here we go. So one by one we'll do all this. So it'll take a little bit of time yet. Maybe we won't get to sewing this all together tonight. Maybe we'll just get through these half triangle rectangles, but we'll see. So here you can see I'm putting the 1/4 inch line. So here's the edge of my ruler, and the 1/4 inch line is that first line in. I'm putting that 1/4 inch line on the edge of the white paper there. Then cutting my 1/4 inch. Oh, you tried to use the parchment paper. All right, so there we are. That's our first cut. So see, that's why, you know, if we would cut right along this, we would get all these paper bits, but now we're good. So we're adding back that 1/2 inch by putting 1/4 inches around the whole thing. So we'll just shimmy through this, speed it up a hair. Oh, you ordered some freezer paper today? Nice. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while we'll pull it out for one of these little crafty tricks, and it comes in handy for sure. Oh man, I need a new blade. Yeah. All right, so there we are, our first one. So now we should just be able to pull it off. It comes off super easy and does not leave any residue at all. And now, doesn't that look nice? That's a good looking rectangle right there. So that's our first one. So same thing, we're gonna just go through all of these. And again, we gotta go one at a time. So again, I'm centering it as best I can. It doesn't actually have to be totally centered, it just has to, you need a 1/4 inch all the way around. Oops, sorry, I bumped you. Oh, yours has been freezing on and off quite a bit, Pax. Yeah, we have a few days that sometimes it just doesn't work well and sometimes it quits out. It's actually, on my end, the whole thing will cut out and it'll say that it's trying to reconnect, and that's what it did earlier for me. So that was probably on my end, but it's tough because sometimes it's on your end, sometimes it's on my end for Wi-Fi or whatever, and sometimes it's Facebook itself. It's a whole question mark, but I don't know. We're trying. We got a little bit better internet, so hoping it isn't too horrible. All right, we're just gonna hang out here and make a pile of these. I think we might have another day of this. It's one of those deals, you forget when you have multiples of pieces, you just kind of forget how long things take. I'm like, oh, we'll cruise through these half rectangle triangles and then get sewing the whole thing together right away, but I don't know. Seems like this might be it for the day. But if that's the case, then tomorrow we will just sew it all up, and I know that that shouldn't take the whole time. We'll sew up our block, and then we'll get going right away on the borders and sashing and all that. Yeah, oh man, that is something, Ruth, that I've definitely learned along the way, especially when we were working on the Splendid Sampler. If you have the right tools, it does make things easier. But I'm still very much of the idea that you don't need all the tools. I mean, sometimes when you step into a new arena and you see all the tools and all the tricks that everyone is using, it's totally overwhelming. So you can still do all of these things without the tools. And the tools just make it a little easier and a little more enjoyable once you have the basics down. And, you know, so I was never a tool person. I didn't have many tools. And then I kind of indulged myself a little bit with the Splendid Sampler and got some more tools, and they have been fun to use. I mean, everything that I'm using here was for that. I got the rotating cutting mat. I got these square rulers. I didn't have square rulers like this. You know, freezer paper I had from some old project. You know, this folding cutting mat, my extension table here. Even the portable iron I think I got. Man, I'm gadgeted up now. Debbie, the drawing is for a $25 gift certificate to Therm-o-Web. So they make like heat and bond, light, and some of the other products that we use for appliquing, for like raw edge applique, and you know, other interfacings and that sort of deal. But we've used the heat and bond light here before, not for this project because I did needle turn applique for it, and we didn't need it for that. All right, that was the 4 going in the one direction, so now we're going to use that other diagonal, but we can still use the same paper. Paper's holding up perfectly fine, which I'm happy about. There we go. It's still sticking just as much as we need, and it really does come off super easily. Yeah, Ruth, I'm loving the rotary or the rotating cutting mat either. This was, you know, and a lot of these things are like, oh my God, why do I need a rotating cutting mat? I can just rotate, you know. But man, it does in certain situations where, like, if this had a lot going on and I didn't want it to move and I could just rotate this and be good to go. Oh man, the rotating cutting mat is just super for that. And it does, you know, it does clip off that half a second here or there and makes things a tish easier. And, you know, any point of friction that you can get rid of and you know, exchange it for a little bit of happy, that's, if a tool can get you to do that, then that's fine with me. And this rotating cutting mat, you know, saves a tiny bit of time and is fun to use, so makes me happy using it, and that makes it a worthy piece of equipment, I believe. Yeah, and that heat and bond is excellent for applique for sure. And we've used it a bunch here in the past, just not for this project. Oop, there we go. So there are 3 more, including this one, so 2 more after this one. Pressing and trimming, those 2 things that I always forget take forever. But once you get in the groove, once you accept that it's going to take time, if I didn't accept that it didn't take time, this part of the process, you know, and I can feel that in me, like, oh man, this is taking forever. It's just, I wish this part was done. But if I just allow myself, to enjoy the zen of it, like enjoy the relaxing nature of doing a monotonous thing over and over again, it actually becomes super calming. But I have to turn off that part of my brain that wants it done for me to get to that. But once I do, I just feel immediately better about it. Then I'm like, oh, I could trim and rotate all day. But that means accepting that maybe I'll only get this far tonight, and that it takes longer than I thought it was going to, but that's okay. It's always with the pressing and the trimming that I forget. There we go. They are looking so cute though. All right, 2 more. Lining up that diagonal. All right, one more after this. They look so clean and pretty once they're trimmed. Just like a real haircut. Get rid of that overgrowth. Definitely do need to change this blade though. Maybe we'll change the blade before we start on the borders and sashing. This has that quick release, and I have not tried that yet. So I haven't switched this blade at all for this whole project, which, you know, so it makes sense that it's not working that great anymore. Even though this is one of those endurance blades. So we have an endurance blade, and this has a quick release for blade changing. We'll give that a go when we're done with this block. All right, last one, guys. Ah, rotating it wrong. There we go. Oh, it is growing fast too. So, I don't know. I think everyone was a little shocked at the haircut to begin with, and including me. But it's so easy. Like, I'm getting used to how it looks. I mean, it's so different than what it's been forever, right? But the ease of it, oh man, it's worth it just for that. It's just so easy and comfortable, and doesn't get caught on anything, and oh man. But yeah, I've noticed too, it's only been a month, so I got it, or just like a month and a half. I got it cut on Halloween. But yeah, already grown out a little. It's just so easy to wash. I don't have to put it up in a ponytail ever. It's never in my face. I like it. Oh, Patricia, do you have the notification on? If you have the notification on in Facebook, if you're in Facebook, by the like button, if you go to, there's a button right next to it that says notifications. If you turn it on and then say see first on it, then this should pop up right when you open your Facebook. All right, so there we are. Oh, that's cool. I don't mind that at all, Gretchen. All right, so I just want to peek at this. I think we're gonna stop here for the night though, just because before we get back into like a big thing, but I want to see kind of what this is gonna look like. So let's like plan out a bottom row here, for example. All right, so we would have, let's pick a pretty one. We'd have, I want to do the other butterfly one. This one's my favorite, I think. And then if we have this one on the bottom, then the butterfly is flying up. So we have, that's in the middle with the pink triangle. I'm going to scooch up a hair. And then we have, how does this work? We have half square triangle going out that way and another, oop, that's the same direction. I need an opposite direction one. There we go, like that. So the pinks are coming off like that. And then, you know, we still have the corner block. And how does that work? I forget which way this goes. Let me peek. Does the white go inside or outside? White goes towards the inside. So that would go right here like that. Ooh, let's just go up along this edge too. I'm excited. All right. We'll put this butterfly there. And again, this one's going out. And then one going in. All right, so here we're gonna start seeing the like fun, odd shape that two half rectangle triangles make together. But here I'm gonna just lift you guys up a hair. So there we are. So that's kind of what two sides will look like when we're done. It's really subtle, but I'm loving it. And you know, we have these little butterflies popping out every once in a while. So I think that's the plan for tomorrow, because this is a whole nother step. We're gonna have to sew a whole row, 2 whole rows of these together of 5 pieces, and then the 3 for the sides, and then sew the whole thing together. So it's a little bit more in depth than what the other ones are. But that is the plan for tomorrow. So that is the deal. Finished up all our half rectangle triangles, and I think they turned out great. But that is the process again. If you needed help with how to do the half rectangle triangles again and how to trim it with our little paper, again, remember we're making it smaller so we can cut out the seam allowance after. But there we be, people! I'm gonna flip you around and we will call it an evening. Hello again. So half square, half rectangle, triangle. There we go. We got a little pair here. So they are, I did have the darks different colors, but I think that'll be fun. This whole thing is a little patchworky, a little testing out different variations of colors and stuff. So I'm pretty stoked. We'll sew it all to this guy tomorrow, and then we will get this guy done. All right, thanks again, guys. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. If you go over there, you can also hit subscribe and do the hashtag #ILoveHomeQuilt there as well for an entry. So you can enter both here on any of the videos from this week and on YouTube for any of the videos this week. So you get all those entries. So you have up to, what is it, like 10 entries though then. So, all right. I will catch you guys tomorrow, and again, if you want to get this guy, I got a link in the Facebook, and remember, you can get the winter version, which I'm super stoked about. I have not stitched this yet. I'll be stitching it for the first time and coloring it in when we do it on Monday the 18th. So, all right, guys, have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.